Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks so much for being here, for being subscribed. If you're not, go ahead and hit that button. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, hit that like button. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. We just want to go ahead and brighten up the place. So let's get into this podversation / politics and BS. I haven't talked about this really. It's just always something every single day. There's several things every single day when it comes to the former 45, but I wanted to just talk about a couple of stories that I saw because, as you know, he's got all of these indictments, possibly more to come. I mean, sometimes I just feel like I'm in a whirlwind, and I don't care if you don't watch the news. It's impossible to not know about anything that is going on at all when it comes to this stuff. And it's definitely exhausting. It's tiring. It's all of those things and then some. But, you know, I saw this story and it's just, I don't know what's going to happen, but this guy, one of his employees, actually two of his employees at Mar-a-Lago, they've also been indicted and charged. And the most recent one just happened recently. And the family's speaking out. So the guy, I'm assuming, I don't know, but I am assuming he is a citizen. I don't know if he was born here or he became a citizen later. And that's not to speak anything negative about him, but the name is de Oliveira. So his name isn't Chuck Brown. His name isn't Todd Smith. His name isn't even Tyrone Jackson, if you get my drift. So I don't know what's going to happen with this, but a day after he was named as a co-defendant in the criminal case against Donald Trump for mishandling classified documents, a picture is starting to emerge of carlosdeoliveira, the little-known Mar-a-Lago employee who is accused of trying to delete security camera footage at Trump's Florida resort after the Justice Department issued a subpoena for it last year. A number of people close to Trump, as well as people who know de Oliveira personally, describe him as someone outside of the former president's inner circle who has been caught up in Trump's legal problems. Unlike waltnauta, Trump's former White House aide and valet, who is also charged in the documents case, de Oliveira is not someone who is known by Trump's close confidants or, according to people who spoke to CNN, anyone who was typically in close proximity to the former president. In conversations with 8 current and former Trump aides and allies who frequently visited Mar-a-Lago, de Oliveira, who is listed as the property manager in the indictment, was described as a maintenance worker who did odd jobs around the property and who did not frequently interact with club members or Trump's team. De Oliveira was certainly not privy to internal deliberations or high-level conversations prior to the special counsel's investigation. I've never heard of that person, one former Trump aide who frequently traveled to Mar-a-Lago with the former president told CNN when asked about de Oliveira. Those comments were echoed by other sources close to Trump who told CNN that prior to Thursday's indictment, they had never heard of de Oliveira. I don't know him, never met him, and hadn't heard his name before this, said a Trump ally who still frequently visits the resort. The sources maintained they never knew de Oliveira and never had any interactions with him, adding that, given his duties, there was no reason they would have. The latest indictment accuses Trump of being part of an effort to delete security footage from Mar-a-Lago after it was subpoenaed, saying that Trump requested that de Oliveira delete footage in order to prevent the footage from being provided to a federal grand jury. The indictment quotes de Oliveira telling another Trump employee who was director of IT at Mar-a-Lago that the boss wanted the server deleted. That IT employee has been identified by 2 people close to the investigation as Yuso Taveras. According to the indictment, de Oliveira has risen through the ranks at the club, previously serving as a valet at Mar-a-Lago and later a maintenance worker before being made a property manager at the club in January 2022. So look at him. He was getting raises and getting promotions. Go ahead, boy. One current Mar-a-Lago employee who spoke to CNN on the condition of anonymity indicated that De Oliveira is a known figure among those who work at Trump's Florida resort. While this employee acknowledged they don't know De Oliveira well on a personal level, they did identify him as a property manager at Trump's resort and noted he shares the former president's interest in golf. The 56-year-old De Oliveira lives in an apartment in a middle-class townhome community in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, about 20 minutes north of Trump's Mar-a-Lago club. No one answered the door when CNN attempted to speak with De Oliveira on Friday. According to people close to him, De Oliveira is a hardworking employee who came to the U.S. from Portugal to seek a better life. Okay, so he was an immigrant. In a phone interview with CNN on Friday, Tiberio Almeida, De Oliveira's landlord, said he had known De Oliveira for about 30 years and that he was a very good friend and a very good neighbor. Almeida told CNN he believed that De Oliveira has worked at Mar-a-Lago for more than 20 years. I've known Carlos for a long time. I think he's a very, very good guy. I have nothing against him. It's too bad he's in the wrong spot. Almeida says he and De Oliveira knew each other when they both lived in Massachusetts before moving to Florida. He's not the kind of guy that would break the law. I don't think he's that type. I hope he does the right thing. If he knows anything, he should come clean. So listen, that situation with him and the other guy, I don't know if they're going to flip. I don't know if they're going to do what they need to do in terms of trying to save themselves, because they are, listen, I know no one's supposed to be better than anyone, and essentially they're not. But when it comes to this, they are the small fish in this big sea of shit right now. And you better believe that the former president is going to do what he has to do to save himself. But I don't see this guy or the other one doing anything that they have done had it not been for the orders that they received from the top. So even if it was illegal, they were doing their job. They did not see that if they did what they have been accused of doing, that they were committing crimes. And that's the sad part. I mean, I really feel sorry for the dude because he is an immigrant. I'm assuming that he became a citizen. I don't know. But it says he came from Portugal to the United States to make a better life for himself. And so to get caught up in some stuff like this, as well as the other guy, you know, they probably don't have the money for their own legal defense. So the boss is probably putting up the legal bills for them. And speaking of legal defense, Trump team is launching a legal defense fund to help pay legal bills. Former president's team is launching a legal defense fund aimed at helping to handle the onslaught of legal bills the former president and his allies face as the investigations into him mount. Sources familiar with the matter tell ABC News on Monday. Save America PAC reported in its latest disclosure report to the Federal Election Commission more than $21.6 million in legal spending to defend Trump, his advisors, and others in the first half of 2023. My God, this is what I'm talking about when I talk about lawyers are the ones who always win in court. It's this. This is what I'm talking about. $21.6 million just for the first half of 2023. You know, those people, they're living good. They're living really, really good. For now, the legal fund is not meant to cover Trump's own bills, the sources said. The legal defense fund will be called the Patriot Legal Defense Fund, the sources said. It is expected to be led by Michael Glassner, who has previously served in multiple senior roles on Trump's 2016 and 2020 campaigns. Lynn Patton, who has been a close aide to Trump at both the Trump Organization and in Trump's administration, will also be involved in the fund. A Trump spokesperson provided a statement about the reasons for the defense fund. And says, and to protect these innocent people from financial ruin and prevent their lives from being completely destroyed, a new legal defense fund will help pay for their legal fees to ensure they have representation against unlawful harassment. The statement read, news of the new PAC was first reported by the New York Times. Mounting legal costs come as Trump faces mounting legal troubles, including a superseding indictment handed up last week by a federal grand jury in special counsel Jack Smith's investigation into Trump's handling of classified documents after leaving office. The superseding indictment charges Trump and two others, Carlos de Oliveira, head of maintenance at Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate, and Trump aide waltnauta, with 2 obstruction counts based on allegations that the defendants attempted to delete surveillance video footage at Mar-a-Lago in the summer of 2022. In June, Trump pleaded not guilty to 37 criminal counts related to his handling of classified materials after prosecutors said he repeatedly refused to return hundreds of documents containing classified information, ranging from U.S. nuclear secrets to the nation's defense capabilities. My head is spinning. He has denied all charges and denounced the probe as a political witch hunt. Nauta, who was also previously charged, also pleaded not guilty. Neither of them has pleaded to the new charges yet. This is just like so much. And the legal defense fund, people who, the majority of the money, you're not saying that big donors aren't going to be donating to it, but you already know the majority of the money is going to come from people who couldn't afford a legal defense for themselves, but they're going to pitch in their $5, $10, $15, $20 and do it in big numbers in terms of the numbers of people doing it so that it will add up. I don't care if I did support him or didn't support him. There are people that I do support. I'm not paying for your legal bills. You did that stuff. You handle it yourself. It just amazes me, in terms of what people support. There's so many other good causes out here that people could be donating to and giving to. St. Jude's Children's Hospital for cancer and just so many other things that people need. There are homeless veterans all over the place. It's just so much need everywhere, but they'll give money to stuff like this for people that don't deserve it. And I'm not saying that they don't deserve a fair trial, but you got your own money. You pay for your defense fund. And those people that are being charged along with him that are his low-level employees, they better look at the history. They better look at the history of the people who have gone down with the ship. They don't get saved. They don't get saved. A couple of them got some pardons when he was leaving office, but for the most part, they don't get saved. In terms of when I say they don't get saved, those people who got pardons, they didn't get prevented from going to prison. They went. They got indicted. They got all of those things. So they just were a few of the lucky ones. But a lot of them, and if they turn and flip, then they're cast down. But there's hope for you if you make the right decisions and you make the right moves. Look at Michael Cohen. I mean, he was definitely going hard for his former boss, to the point where it was just like wackadoodle. And then when he finally woke up and decided to start telling the truth, then, he got locked up and lost his law license and so many other things, but he's bounced back and he's doing much better. But I'm just saying, this stuff is absolutely crazy. So you guys, you can let me know your thoughts respectfully in the comment section below. And thank you so much for being here, for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and I'm going to say bye.